All right, folks, good afternoon. Welcome to Trading the Death Star, the stock that I call the Death Star, folks. And if you take a look at what that stock is doing today, it is fully operational, pulling back a little bit from a big run for the past couple hours. I stood in front of that, got out of it, got back into it, which we're going to talk about in a couple minutes. Big day for the market. After market close today, Amazon reports earnings and also Apple. So I figured this would be a great time to talk about Amazon and how we're positioned and all sorts of stuff. Really good stuff. We haven't done a solo Amazon brief in a couple months to open up to new members. So hopefully by the end of today's brief, you can get on board for the big win. Real quick, my podcast is out. This episode 7. I strongly recommend you listen to when you get a chance, man. It could potentially save your life. And if this is the first you're hearing of it, awesome. But especially episode 7 here, Healed by the Light. It covers 6 and 7. If you can listen to 6 and 7, we're making a movie called No Fallen Heroes. Going to be taking some veteran fighter pilots for just some incredible treatment. And it's all detailed in this. And then episode 7, I detail what my journey, in fact, was when I did this treatment and the therapy. And man, it's just changed my life. Absolutely changed my life. And that's what I'm focused on doing going forward. Trading, making you guys some money, but also saving the lives of veterans. In the hour that you and I talk, a veteran will kill themselves by their own hand. Thank you, Sandra. I appreciate that. Share it with your friends, family, countrymen. Lend me your ears. And obviously, COVID Crash is out. COVID Crash from Panic to Profit. How a Navy fighter pilot used combat strategies to beat the Wall Street smart money. We destroyed it, folks. I predicted the COVID market crash to the day, nailed it the entire way down as all the smart money and Donald Trump told you to buy the dip, which was stupid. And we printed money, folks. We literally turned folks like you into millionaires during the COVID crash. It was awesome. So make sure, I'll give you the link to this. Actually, I won't give you the link to this. If you go to our page, I'll send you a signed copy. Hang on one second. If you order, sure, I will autograph it for you. You can get a copy of both books, and you actually get a discount. Stand by one second. I wrote From Sea Level to Sea Level, and then also COVID Crash. So you can get both of them for discount. I'll sign both of them if you want for 25% discount. Let me put that link in the chat box for you. Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because there are folks who just would attend my free briefs during the COVID crash who printed money. So, I'm glad I could help. All right, let's go ahead and get back on target here. Like I said, that's the easier URL to go to. go.topgunoptions.com/book. All right, let's go ahead and get airborne. The Death Star. If you're a parent like me, my kids are Star Wars nerds. Hell, I was a Star Wars nerd. That's how old I am. I mean, hell, I was a kid when the original Star Wars came out. So definitely dating myself a little bit here. But the Death Star was that Darth Vader space station that just literally was taking over the universe. Got attacked, half blown up, but they rebuilt it, and it came back even stronger. And that's why I call Amazon the Death Star, because everything it touches, it destroys or takes over. And I absolutely love it. Real quick, in my personal accounts, to disclose, I'm obviously long Amazon. I have about $250,000 in Amazon that you'll see on my personal screen, which I should be trading in and out of to close some short calls. I'm long AMC and also short some Tesla. Hang on one second. Well, I'm going to wait. I sold these short calls about an hour ago that are up $5,000 that I might be closing here in a couple minutes. Well, we'll do it as part of the brief. How about that? So I got a couple screens up. So when I see Amazon moving over here, I need to be placing trades over here. But okay, check this out, folks. Amazon. This is this week. This is to yesterday's closing bell. These are my Amazon trades for the week. 20, if you'll allow me to round up, $25,000 just in trading short calls against my long calls. And if you have no idea what that means, I'm going to explain that to you during this brief. How about last week? Let me show you last week how I did. Where's my email? Just got this from my booger eater. I placed 10 trades last week. One was a loser, 9 were winners. That's a 90, you ready? 90% win rate. Last week, we did 92,000, if you'll allow me to round up, $93,000 in profit. Awesome. Lights out trading here, folks. This is insane. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of those trades were Amazon. So just absolutely, and the one losing trade was not Amazon. So there you go. So this solo Amazon service, we are absolutely crushing it, folks. And I'm very, very glad that you're here today and you're finding out about us. Now, I know a couple of my buddies sent out some emails to their database so we could, so I know we have a ton of new folks in here. So if you're the first time seeing me or hearing me or listening to me, welcome aboard. But let me give you a quick intro by way of a question. Which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? Obviously, the name of the company's Top Gun Options. I was in a Marine Squadron, wearing one of my Marine Squadron shirts that I was in. So a little bit of a aviation and fighter aviation theme going on here. Which fighter aircraft would you rather fly? I'm going to give you 2 choices, okay? That's the first choice right there. That cockpit is an F4 Phantom, folks. Just looking at this cockpit gives me agita. It makes me want to start shaking. There's over 300 switches and dials in that cockpit. Absolute insanity. The pilot would spend a lot of what we call heads down time looking at all this stuff instead of what? Eyeballs out of the cockpit looking at potential enemy MiGs or surface to air missiles or AAA anti-aircraft artillery. Very, very labor-intensive aircraft. Matter of fact, so labor-intensive, they actually had to put another dude in the airplane sitting in the back seat just to run the radar. Very, very labor-intensive. A lot going on with this airplane. Or here's your second choice. Would you rather fly this aircraft? This aircraft, look at that. 2 flat panel displays in this jet. That's it. You see any steam gauges in this cockpit? You don't. That's the F-35. That's the Joint Strike Fighter or the Lightning II aircraft, man. This jet, it's a Wonder Woman jet, folks. It's invisible to radar, essentially, and it's clear, meaning when the pilot looks down, they don't see aircraft or cockpit or anything. They see through the aircraft because of all the sensors. It's just absolute insanity. This jet is so smart that it actually limits the amount of information that it displays to the pilot at different portions of the flight because you don't need to know, right? The jet is smart enough to say, you know what, she or he doesn't need to know this right now, so I'm going to actually limit it, limit this. And not to creep you out even more, the jet's learning. These jets are smart enough to start watching, all right, he did this, she did this at this time, and they start building a database, and these things, when they become self-aware, are going to kill all of us. But we can talk about that over a beer. So, and take a look, speaking of Darth Vader, take a look at the helmet, man. That's the F-35 pilot's helmet. The helmet itself is $500,000, folks. I have a couple of helmets sitting around my office from my squadrons, all banged up. These things, the pilots don't even get to hold them, right? I think it's in a special briefcase that like the helmet dude brings out to the jet because you don't want to drop this or bang it, right? So obviously choice 2, you want to fly the F-35 Lightning. What the hell does this have to do with trading in Amazon? I'm going to get to that. Why? Because I'm going to give you an up-to-date intelligence brief as what's going on. I just sat here and saw Mumbles McBiden. What a national embarrassment that man is. It's elder abuse at this time. Show you the only stock you need to own and a good substitute to trade. Amazon ain't exactly cheap at $3,500 a share. That's why we don't trade the stock. We trade options. Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free, right? Options, man. We rent it, baby. But a good substitute to trade since it is a little pricey. And it's actually a great substitute to trade because there's something also with Amazon that's doing pretty damn good right now. So no distractions, silence your electronic nicotine because you've never heard what I'm about to tell you. I guarantee you haven't heard this. As a matter of fact, you've heard the exact opposite of this. Real quick, for those of you who are new, my name is Matthew Buckley. My call sign is Wiz. Last time I checked with my parents, they didn't name me Wiz. Not my God-given name. Wiz, I earned that call sign flying the F-18 Hornet for the United States Navy. Graduated from the Navy Fighter Weapons School, which many of you know as Top Gun, and also did some combat sorties over Iraq, which were completely boring. The toughest flying I ever did in my naval career was landing aboard the ship at night and also at Top Gun. Iraq was an absolute snooze fest. All right, so trading fighter pilot doesn't make sense to me. It should make absolute sense to you. I was always interested in investing, right? You don't join the Navy and serve your country to get rich, right? Unless you become an admiral or a general, and then you go to a defense contractor and it's a revolving door. But anyway, I joined because I loved aviation. I loved the ocean, the sea, and I always, since my earliest memories, wanted to be a Navy fighter pilot flying off aircraft carriers. And then the movie Top Gun came out, and then everybody wanted to do it, which pissed me off because then I had to try even harder. But I was always interested in finance. When I was commissioned in ensign in the United States Navy, when I graduated from Jacksonville University up in North Florida, I drove down to Naval Air Station Key West, my first duty station. I remember writing a check for like $25 to the USAA Aggressive Growth Mutual Fund. Right, so I always knew that I needed to invest and save, and I started to apply everything I was learning flying a fighter jet to my trading, having a strategy, implementing tactics that support that strategy, contingency planning, managing risk, knowing when to get out of a good or bad situation before it got worse. I applied it to my trading and it worked with absolute incredible results. How incredible? Well, got a phone call one day. How about you come up and help essentially run our firm, a $2.5 billion volatility arbitrage firm? Unbelievable. I mean, it was just absolute insanity. Hang on one second. I just saw the trade confirmation and I didn't have any trades on, which was weird. So the hang on one second. Oh, I guess I did. I did get out of those Amazon calls. So anyway, popped up on their radar, just absolute blast. I helped build a hedge fund when I was there. I helped build the retail brokerage that many of you know as Options House. And just it was awesome. It was just an absolute great time up in Chicago. I was managing director of strategy for this $2.5 billion firm, and I was the founder and CEO of the Options News Network, ONN.TV, kind of the CNBC for options. You know, I know John and Pete Najarian pretty well from CNBC, and you know they do a semi-decent job of paying lip service to options, but we were 24/7, man, and I had an absolute blast. I got to be honest with you, I felt like Eddie Murphy in Trading Places. I felt like Valentine, a little old retail trader going to the big leagues. But to be honest with you, there is no such thing as the smart money, folks. The smart money got the COVID crash completely wrong. All those idiots, all the smart money, cash is trash, get into the market, implosion. This is the bottom. I'd definitely get in here. Bigger implosion. Oh, this really is the bottom. I'd get in here. Bigger implosion. We sold all the way down. And then when the market turned, when Jerome Powell, the Fed chief, dropped the biggest financial nuclear weapon in history, we got bullish. And all the smart money did the exact opposite. Oh, no, we're still going to go lower. I'm like, you guys are dumb. But I got to be honest with you, little old retail trader me going to Wall Street, not too many smart people on Wall Street, folks. They're people like you and me, right? And they're not that smart. So anyway, decided to, no offense to anybody from Chicago, you can keep it. Love the people, love the food. 9 months out of the year is absolute misery. I'm a beach guy. I'm a Navy guy. So I moved down here to God's Waiting Room, Boca Raton, about 11 years ago. Do a lot of charity work, Broward Sheriff's Office Advisory Council. I'm on their board. I lost a sister, unfortunately, to a drunk driver when she was 19, a freshman in college. So I work heavily with MAD. And then last year I started my own foundation called the Top Gun Fighter Foundation, whose job is to try and minimize and eliminate veterans suicide. And I just could not be more humbled and honored to be a part of that fight. Like I said, one veteran is going to kill themselves when we're on this webinar. And after that absolute shit show embarrassment that Joe Biden did with Afghanistan, those numbers are going through the roof. 20-year war, man, that we just absolutely could not have ended worse. He's responsible for the deaths of 11 Marines, a corpsman, and a soldier, and he's committed a war crime. His knee-jerk reaction, oh, well, somebody's going to pay for that. He drone striked a car with 7 children. Delete the word Biden and insert the word Trump. Trump drone strikes and kills 7 children. They would have impeached him for the 900th time. The man would be in prison. Joe Biden kills 7 kids. Let's move on. It's a disgrace. All right, let's get going. I told you about the book, told you about the podcast. That's me. That's an old picture. That's actually when we left Chicago, man. Here's how old that is. Matthew is 21 years old. He's a senior at Norwich University in Vermont. He's in the Corps of Cadets. Once I guess I dropped him on his head when he was a kid. He wants to fly for the Marine Corps. Jack looks like he's got the devil in him in that picture. I love my son Jack. He wants to fly for the Navy. So we got a Marine, potential Marine pilot, potential Navy pilot. Keely is 13 years old, going on 30, and she's not allowed to leave the house. All right, let's go. I love doing this brief because it does shock a lot of people what I'm about to tell you. Because day one of it, I remember being told this day one of investing, right? This being told day one of investing this. And this is going to be shocking news to you or not. It's probably not going to shock most of you. Wall Street's lying to you. Wall Street's been lying to you since the first day you thought about investing, right? How many of you have heard this? You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You can't. You must. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You have got to diversify. Why diversification is important? You must diversify. 5 tips, blah, 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 blah. You have got to diversify. Who told you that you have to diversify? That dude. Who's that dude? Whenever you hear the term broker, stock, yacht, real estate, insert the word commission. Delete broker and insert commission. A stockbroker wants you to trade as many names as physically possible. They want you in everything. That's why they want you to diversify. Ever see the movie The Wolf of Wall Street or Boiler Room or even Wall Street? All right, boys, get all the little old ladies in tennis shoes on the phone. Get them out of the stock from yesterday. Get them into this one. It's called churn. They want to churn your account because they make money. The more names you're in, the more you trade, the more they make. Make sense? Now, if you're sitting here going, well, Wiz, I trade with Robinhood and I don't pay commissions. You're a fool. Why? Because if you think you're the customer, you're wrong. If you're not paying anything to trade, you're the product. You're not the customer. Robinhood's customers are Citadel, Ken Griffin at Citadel, or Stevie Cohen. They pay for your order flow. So that dude and the dudes on Wall Street are going to make their money no matter what. But this whole diversification thing is a lie. I'm a fighter pilot. There's very little between me and truth. So here's the truth. Diversification is for stupid people. Now, let me have somebody clean that up who's a lot nicer than me. How about this? How about Warren Buffett? Diversification is a protection against ignorance. It makes very little sense for those who know what they're doing. I want that to sink in. Mine was quicker and to the point. Diversification is for stupid people. Warren Buffett said it nicer. It's the truth. If you know what you're doing, you don't need to diversify. Does that make sense? The only name that you need to trade for the rest of your life and be in is Amazon. Ladies and gentlemen, it is diversified in and of itself. We're going to get into why, but I'm a picture guy. We have earnings right after the closing bell. My prediction, look at this. Amazon's revenue continues to grow at 30% a year. Old stock market me would think this is insanity. No company on the face of the, look at this is a hockey stick. Now, obviously, once you get so big and own everything, that's going to taper off. But folks, they print money. Last quarter's earnings, they reported they made $850,000. Let's round up. They made $1 million a minute. We'll see what the metric is this time. But I love that picture. How about their revenue by segment? I can't wait to see the earnings or listen to the earnings call today. Look at this. North America and AWS, folks, Amazon Web Services, up until a couple years ago, didn't even exist. Andy Jassy, the current CEO, and Jeff Bezos were sitting in his condo. They're like, maybe we should do like some Microsoft type of stuff. Boom. Their segments are absolutely growing, man. AWS is it's Microsoft essentially, right? Or more. Amazon Prime Day turns into like a holiday. It's almost like a national holiday. Like people take off for it. They put it on their calendar. Now, take a look at this chart of Amazon, because if you deleted the word Amazon and showed me this chart 20 years ago, I'd say sell it. Get bearish. What an awful company. Why? Look at these numbers. Sales. I'd be like, holy crap, I love this company. Free cash flow. Okay, that's well, I see the sales are up here. Look at this, guys. Profit. No sane person in their right mind would look at that and go, I'd be bullish on this stock. It doesn't make any money, Wiz, and that's where you're wrong. Jeff Bezos is brilliant. Love or hate Dr. Evil, he's a great businessman. You know what he does? He says this publicly, guys. Google it. He says, I don't want to make $1. He's like, if I show $1 in profit, I failed. And if you're sitting there going, well, that doesn't make sense. You know why? Because he wants to take that dollar and do something with it. Build a spaceship, buy another airliner, buy a competitor, put a competitor out of business, buy another attorney to go after the government. He doesn't want to show a profit, folks. This is what's so funny about the idiot Democrats trying to go after corporations like Amazon to make them pay their fair share. Well, based on the tax laws that you wrote, not Amazon, they don't show any profit. I love that type of stuff. As Gordon Gekko, as an American, I think it's kind of scuzzy, but as me, as a guy who's long the stock, I think it's fantastic. So, but we have to talk about that. So Jeff Bezos has said, I don't want to make profit, man. Any dollar I make goes into something else. That's a company you want to be bullish on. Don't listen to me. Where's David? May 1st, bought a single Jan 21 2270 call that I've been rolling short diagonals. The base call is up $51,000. Parmar sold Amazon 3,000 calls too early last week at 122, but still made 80 grand. Dennis, my original Amazon synthetic call for June 21 expiry is now up $145,000. Kevin, cumulative Amazon gains net out to $12,673, which is nicer than it seems since I started $6K in the hole before following Wiz's discipline correctly. Dennis and Greg, my Amazon long call diagonals up 28K yesterday to over 31 grand today. Now, before I give you sunshine, lollipops, and unicorns, as a fighter pilot, as an options trader, I have to brief the risks. What are the potential pitfalls for just trading one name? Well, guess what? The biggest risk is stocks can go to zero. Anybody remember a small mom and pop financial company called Lehman Brothers? Lehman Brothers was a 150-year-old blue blood Wall Street firm, gone in a matter of days. Bear Stearns, gone. Jim Cramer remembers Bear Stearns. He looked like Khrushchev at the UN. This bald dude frothing at the mouth, slamming his shoe on the table. Bear Stearns is a steal at $70. This was at the height of the financial crisis. Bear Stearns is a steal. You're a fool if you don't get into Bear Stearns. It was at zero 2 days later. Good call, Jim Cramer. How about pets.com? How about Enron? I could spend the rest of our time together going through the graveyard of stocks that have gone to zero, but here's my point. What's the common theme between these names that have gone to zero? You ready? They didn't own a thing. No thing. They owned no thing. Enron was a middleman of electricity in California. They didn't even own the building they were in. Dudes went to prison. Pets.com owned a stinky sock puppet and a domain name. Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers owned air. They owned paper. They didn't even own the damn sign of the building they were in. So they didn't own anything, folks. Amazon owns everything. I did some consulting work a couple years ago down near Miami International at an Amazon fulfillment center. It was bigger than an aircraft carrier. It owns everything. Full disclosure, I used to fly for a little small company called Federal Express. I was a FedEx pilot. I was miserable. For 10 months, I was miserable. And I was young, 30, 33. Why? I don't like showing up to work at midnight and flying until 8 in the morning and trying to sleep in a hotel room during the day. It doesn't work for me. But anyway, I still had buddies at corporate like 5, 6 years ago, whenever it was. Dude, I just heard from a buddy at GE Aircraft Leasing, who's Jeff Bezos. Like, he runs Amazon. He said he's leasing 5 jets. I said, that son of a bitch is going to do it. And my buddy's like, what? I'm like, he's going to put you out of business. Oh, never happened. Amazon Air, Prime Air will be bigger than UPS and FedEx combined in about a year or two. When I go for a run around the neighborhood, I see blue trucks everywhere. I can't remember the last time I saw a UPS truck, maybe a couple FedEx trucks every once in a while. So, folks, can Amazon go to zero? Can the stock go to zero? Physically, no, because it owns things. It has assets. It owns stuff. Technically, the stock could go to zero. We're not going to care if it does, because that means a nuclear weapon went off and we're all dead. It's not going to happen. Amazon is now shipping cargo for outside customers. It's insane. So they own stuff. Now, what's this guy doing on the screen? He gives me the chills, man. I put him up here because of political risk. At the beginning of Trump's presidency, he picked up the phone one morning and blasted Jeff Bezos and Amazon. It's a monopoly. He's a this. It just took a flamethrower to the guy. What did the stock do? It kind of went down a little bit, like, oh shit, is he going to go after Amazon? Then what happened? No thing. Nothing happened. Until the last year of Trump's presidency, he grabbed his phone again and took another flamethrower to Jeff Bezos. It's a monopoly. They're destroying the post office. He's using them, blah, blah, blah. What happened? The stock went up. So if the most powerful man in the world at the time, Donald Trump, couldn't do anything to stop Amazon, do you think anybody else is going to? Well, Wiz, every once in a while I see the Department of Justice or the FTC or anything like that. Guys, at this point, it's too late. Amazon is so big that if you broke it up, and by the way, I'm old enough to remember Standard Oil, Microsoft, AT&T. Remember breaking up folks, if you broke Amazon up today, Amazon Air, Amazon Web Services, Amazon Prime, the entertainment thing, you'd create 12 new monopolies in those spaces. So what do you want? One massive monopoly or 12 little ones? If broken up, the math makes Amazon more valuable than it is now. So the government's screwed. And by the way, the last time I checked, well, it depends on the time of the day. I can't remember if Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos is the world's richest man. It depends on the minute. But the last time I checked, the world's richest dude probably has an attorney or two on staff and can tie this shit up for the rest of our lives. So, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't brief you on the potential risks to owning one name. Okay. Now, I got to be honest with you. At Top Gun Options, I tell my members I wear 2 suits. I wear a flight suit. I'll tell you how I feel as an American. I think Jeff Bezos is smarmy. He's a worm. I can't stand the guy. He pays his employees shit. I could rant forever about Jeff Bezos and how I don't like him. Who cares, Wiz? Then I'll put on my $10,000 Armani suit and go Gordon Gekko. I love Jeff Bezos. I think he should pay his workers less. I remember 3-4 years ago, they had a competition between the best Amazon employee, how many things they could box in an hour, and the Robo Boxer 5000. Herb, whatever the dude's name is, like did 200 in an hour. He got like 200 things in a box in an hour, in boxes. The Robo 5000 did like 700. So in about a year or two, there will be no employees at Amazon. All these blue trucks will be what? Driverless. And they'll be electric, and they'll go 24 hours a day, right? You see these big rigs on the Turnpike or I-95 at rest stops. They have to. They're dudes that drive them, and ladies. They have mandatory rest requirements, right? They have to fill out a logbook and shit like that. Not going to happen. Hell, I believe, and I'll make the prediction, that Jeff Bezos, Amazon Air, will be one of the first airlines, if not the first, that doesn't have a pilot on it, or might have one, right? Isn't this awesome? It's an absolute awesome name to be in. So, what are the benefits to trading just one name? Well, you trade the same name and you're going to potentially profit no matter which direction it goes, up, down, or sideways. Wait, Wiz, I'm new to options. You can make money if a stock's going sideways. Hell yeah, you can. You can use a tactic called an iron condor. Absolutely. And I'll teach you how to do that. If you buy stock, folks, it's the buy, hold, and hope and pray, right? You buy the stock, you hope it goes up. If it doesn't, you pray. We can make money three ways, not buy, hope, pray. It's up, down, or sideways using options. So you're going to stay focused on the news and events that impact Amazon instead of a bunch of stocks and ETFs. You become an expert in Amazon, right? And it reduces the time you're going to spend looking at a bunch of different positions. Right down the street in Boca, Meisner Park. I remember meeting a doctor buddy. He's a great doctor here in Boca. Wiz, I hear you're the best. Thank you. I need help. I just don't know what I'm doing investing, right? Meet me for a cup of coffee. I'm like, sure, dude. Met him, booted up his computer. He swung the laptop around when he logged into his brokerage account, and I passed out, man. Glad he was a doctor. No, I'm not shitting you. The dude had this. He had, you ready for this? In his brokerage account, he had 33 names. He had 33 positions in his portfolio. This guy's a doctor. 12-hour days, surgery, office hours. In between patients, he looks at his phone every once in a while. I'm like, Doc, are you insane? He tried to at least give me a brief. He's like, well, I think this one's a pot stock. I don't know what it is. I'm like, did you just say you don't know what that is? All right, moving on. Well, this one, buddy of mine, it's a surgical thing. I think, well, it's down, I'm down 50%. You ready for this? When it comes back, then I'll get out of it. I'm like, Doc, let me help you with some math. It'd have to go up 100% from where it's at to even break even. Oh my God. Here's what I'm getting at. 33 positions. He's flying around in an F4. Folks, at my firm in Chicago, we had a research department, 22, 23 analysts that sat over there, and their job was to eat, breathe, sleep 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, a couple names, one or two. And guess what? Sometimes they got stuff wrong. I remember some earnings announcements where I'd go over to the desk and look at these people like, dude, how could you have been so wrong? So let me get this straight. A doc and he's got kids, manages an incredibly busy life. You think he's doing good as a trader? You need one name, guys. Absolutely one name, and that is it. Would you rather fly that or fly this? The answer is clear, guys. Now, real quick, pretend you didn't see that. Wiz, Amazon is at $3,400, $3,475 right now. It's a little expensive. We're going to trade options, which makes it cheaper. But if I didn't convince you that the Wall Street broker dude who wants you to diversify for commissions, if he really got his teeth in your neck and Wiz does not compute, I have got to diversify. Well, guess what we also trade in this portfolio? An ETF, an exchange traded fund, that is known as the XLY. It's the consumer discretionary ETF. Why would you trade that, Wiz? Look at it. 25% of this ETF is XLY. I'm sorry, is Amazon stock. Then look at what else is in this thing. Tesla, which is on a monster run. Home Depot, McDonald's, Nike, Starbucks, Lowe's, Target, blah, blah. Look at if you must diversify, it's on the screen. So we also trade the XLY, which is a 180 or whatever dollar ETF. Isn't this great? So in this service, Solo Amazon, we trade XLY and we trade Amazon. Okay. So how do we target Amazon and XLY for max profit? Easy. I'm going to show you Monday at noon. Every Monday at noon, we do a live trade brief. It's one of these, but instead of all this marketing bullshit, we're trading. I'm going to show you how I establish a base position. We're going to hop in that Joint Strike Fighter, and we're going to fly the speed of light 2 years, 2.5 years out into the future. We can go 2 to 2.5 years out into the future and get bullish on Amazon using options. And I'm going to teach you these two tactics. One's called synthetic stock and one's called a long call diagonal. So we're going to establish a beachhead like the Marine Corps. Bullish in this name. Why that far out into the future? Folks, I want to give this trade as much time to work as humanly possible. Okay. Now look in the parentheses. Protective puts. Everything we do at Top Gun Options is hedged and protected. Right? I never flew in that F-18 and told the chief to pull out the ejection seat. Hey, chief, just pull out the ejection seat, man. I don't need it. I'm awesome and I'm not going to die today. Didn't happen. So I'm going to show you how we protect our stuff. So once we have our base position established, then we're going to trade what I call the front months. What's the front month? You're sitting in it. September, October, November. These are the front months. What are we in? October, November, December, right? If Amazon and XLY start going up, we do bullish stuff. If it starts going down, we do bearish stuff. And if it's trading sideways, like I said, we can do neutral stuff. Isn't that awesome? So let me go show you what I currently have going on in my portfolio. I did get out of those calls. Sweet. So right now, I have, here are my Amazon positions. Let me close this one right here. I have wow, I said $250,000. That's wrong. I have $358,000 in long-term bullish Amazon positions. I have two of them. I have 5 January. This January calls on at 3,500 strike, right? I put these on about a month ago. They're up 106%, $41,000. Now these these are about a year old, I think. I flew out to January of 2023. And I bought $3,900 calls. They're underwater a little bit, but guess what? That's what happens. Let me pull up Amazon over here. So I put these on. Oops, Amazon. So I think I put those 3,900 calls on like way back here. So we had a massive run, gave some back, boom, 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 boom. So take a look at this right here, guys. That's what's called a bearish or a pennant. And it looks like Amazon's breaking out of this pennant for a run. Why would Amazon run? Well, first of all, we have earnings after the close. It might sell the news. Because look at this. Look at the past 5 days in Amazon. I don't like when this happens. Wiz, you don't like when Amazon goes up. I don't like when Amazon does this going into earnings. I'm going to teach you a bunch of Wizisms. Here's one of the Wizisms. Buy the rumor, sell the news, right? Something leaked today, or somebody knows something, because just looking at the monster run we had in the stock today, let's just go to today. So look at that. Here's the opening bell today. La 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 la, boom. That thing took off. Again, here's opening bell, down, up, normal trading, and then monster rally. So I don't like this. I mean, I like it. I'm making a lot of, how are we doing today? We're doing pretty good. Look at that. Today, my Amazon trades are up about $33,000. So great. But usually when I see Amazon run up into earnings, it usually sells the news. And that is frustrating to a lot of you who are retail traders. Like, wait a minute. I think Amazon's going to have great earnings. They had great earnings and the stock went down. Yeah, that's because you don't trade here at Top Gun Options and don't know I give you everything from that happens. I know all of this like the back of my hand. I've been doing this for 31 years. Now I'm really aging myself. So here's my earnings preview. And I got the last earnings right, guys, to within $6.75, whatever it was. What do I mean? You see this right here? I predicted last time earnings were going to be good, but not good enough. I said Amazon will implode. I said it's going to go down to 3,300. The stock went down to 3306.75. I missed it by $6.75. That was just insane. Why did they miss a little bit? The COVID crash, the scandemic, folks, was the best thing on the face of the planet to happen to Amazon. Look at this. Here you go, COVID crash. Boom. Wait a minute. Everybody's locked up in their house for the rest of their life. All they're doing is using Amazon. So we had this rally. And then what happened? Amazon leveled off, Wiz. Why did it level off? Well, because it's like a python eating a rabbit. They established their footing, right? So, and it's leveled off here. But let's take a look at what Amazon does after it levels off. Let's do like a 5-year chart. Excuse me. Oh, perfect. Rip your face off rally, level. Super rip your face off rally, level. Anybody think that's going to happen? I don't. I think that's going to happen. Okay. Folks, it is just massive. Now, we could, Mike, yeah. So Mike says up 83 points before earnings should mean someone knows the news. So, Mike, here's another reason things sell the news, right? Buy the rumor. I hear Amazon's going to have good earnings. So people have already bought the rumor, and now they're going to sell the news. Because but here's what happens. Even if the stock sells the news today, it's after a couple days, it finds its footing. Math comes back in. People go, they take their profits, they bought the rumor, they sold the news, and then what? They get back into it after they're like, well, shit, the thing's printing money. It's the Death Star. Everybody back into it. And what do we have coming up? Can you say Black Friday? Can you say Cyber Monday? Can you say Santa Claus rally? The only thing I'm worried about, and remember, earnings calls are this. Earnings calls are 25% this and 75% that. What's this? Earnings calls, folks, this afternoon, 25% that I care about is how they did this quarter. Last quarter, I mean. So it's already old. By the time they report earnings today, it's old. You're essentially driving around the Daytona 500 looking in the rearview mirror. What good does that do? The 75% part of the earnings call that is important today is what? The forward look. So the dude, I think Andy Jassy, the CEO, or the CFO is going to be on the call. They're going to go, here's how he did, blah, 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 blah. What's important is how they say they're going to do. That's what's going to really move the stock. If they get on, this might be the bad for earnings. If they get on and go, holy supply chain shit show, Batman, then we're in trouble. Take a look at the Port of Los Angeles and Long Beach, man. It is an absolute shit show. It's a conga line. Inflation is through the roof. I'm reading stories about. I read a story of this lady yesterday, Wall Street Journal. Like she's like, I'm budget. She's like, I can make half of what my Thanksgiving dinner usually is. She's like, the vanilla that I put in my pie or whatever she said is like $2 more than it was the last time I bought it. She's like, I can't afford this. I feed my supply chain issues, guy. We have raging inflation. We have supply chain issues, but guess who the one company on the planet Earth should be able to work through these things is Amazon. Last week, Credit Suisse actually downgraded Amazon a little bit. They're like, they're having to pay employers more, the supply chain issues suck, and blah, blah, blah. Well, 2 days ago, another house came out and said the exact opposite of that. So isn't that funny? One analyst says this and the other says this. The one analyst says, even with all that stuff, they're the Death Star and they're printing money. So very long answer to your kind of short point there, Mike. Yeah, sounds like a chess game, and I'm thinking of my next move, and you're thinking 3 or more moves ahead. That's exactly how you have to trade, Mike. It's counterintuitive. You ready for this? Next week, we have Jerome Powell, the Fed chief, who might be doing what's called a taper. The Fed has been pumping $120 billion a month into this market to prop it up because of COVID. How about you just let us live our lives and get back to normal? I live in Florida, which I was at the Panthers game last night. Absolute fantastic. Nobody gives a shit. Everybody lives their life in liberty. But well, I'm not going to predict earnings like I did the last time because I knew what was going to happen the last time. I'm like, they're leveling off. They had the COVID crash, climb straight up. They've leveled off, and now earnings. Everybody keeps saying they're going to be spectacular. I said they're going to be good, but they're not going to. Yeah. So it's funny because Amazon could even beat tonight and have a blowout and the stock go down. Okay. So this is why you want to join today. And it's cheap. I'm going out to dinner tonight in Fort Lauderdale. I guarantee you a round of drinks that I'm buying for my buddies costs more than the service for a month. You want to join today because Monday at noon, we're going to do our solo Amazon brief. I'm going to fully debrief earnings because you usually need a couple days, right? Earnings come out after the close. The stock's going to be all over the place tomorrow, either super up or super down. And then people are going to take the weekend to chew over. I'm going to read the whole thing. I print it out. I got my highlighter. I read this shit, man. I do this so you don't have to. And then Monday at noon in solo Amazon, baby, we're going to be talking. Look at this. I mean, let's go back to this chart real quick. We 2-3 months ago were up at $3,800, man. There was that earnings miss, even though it was a beat, it was a miss. And then we've been just kind of doing this wallow here. There's a double bottom right there. Is this thing breaking out, and is it going to break out for good? If we get it, I don't know, guys. I seriously don't know. I mean, Monday, I might be telling you I'm getting out of all of my Amazon longs and getting bearish. It just depends, right? So good stuff. Like I said, I'm putting my money where my mouth is, man, with $356,000 worth of Amazon stuff. So I don't want it to sell the news. I want to see blowout earnings and Amazon blowout. Look at the options activity. And again, if you're new to options, guys, don't worry about it. I'm going to teach you everything you need to know. Look at the 3,500 strike. The stock's at 34.71 right now. The 3,500 strike has a ton of volume and open interest. So a lot of people, and remember, folks, at the 3,500 strike right here, those calls are going for $52. So for these calls tomorrow to make money, the stock would have to be 3,500 plus $52, right? So there's a lot of people betting right now that Amazon, at least tomorrow, is above 35.52. That's at least to break even. So people who are loading up on these calls right now thinking Amazon's going to be way above 35.52 tomorrow, right? There's a lot of bullish activity in these Amazon calls. Okay? Make sense? And I'm going to teach you all that stuff. If you don't know anything about options, that's why I'm here, man. This is what I do with Top Options is I teach you how to trade options. But real quick, let me at least get to that so we can get everybody going here. It's called Solo Amazon. It's our newest live trading service. It's also our most popular since it's kind of a gateway drug. You get in Solo Amazon because it's the least expensive, and you start learning how to trade options, and then maybe you can branch into some of our other services. Like today we did our AR brief, accelerated retirement, longer dated trades, more conservative. So Solo Amazon, my other briefs that I do are about $167 a month. This is only $97 a month. Like I said, it's a round of drinks tonight in Fort Lauderdale. I'll give you the link to the monthly and to the annual. If you do an annual membership today, you save, 25%. Okay, but if you want to try it out for a month, it's $97, and you want to do it now with earnings. Because if Amazon blows the doors off of it, and Monday I'm going to show you how to do that base position. I might even add to it. I might hop in my jet and go further out in time than my current trade. So you want to come Monday. I don't even know what I'm going to do on Monday because it depends on what happens on the call today. All right. If you want to do the annual, 25% discount, or you could do $97 a month. I'll give you both those links in a couple minutes. And that's about half off of my other services. That's last year. I need to delete that slide because it's old. I just showed you last week and this week, man. Between last week and this week, that's like over $100,000 just in the delete slide. I thought I deleted that slide. Delete 2020 performance. Who cares about 2020? Look at this. In 2020, I did about $140,000 in Amazon profits in a year. I've done close to that in 2 weeks. So that tells you looking at performance in the rearview mirror makes no sense. What have you done for me lately? I just showed you. Hey, if you can't attend, hey, Wiz, every Monday at noon, I work for a living. 80% of our members work for a living. That's why I send out time-sensitive text and email alerts. As soon as I place an Amazon or an XLY trade, I fire it via text and email. There's a screenshot of the text alert that comes out, and then an email fires at the exact same time with a screenshot of the trade. Here's what I'm buying. Here's what I'm selling. Here's at what price. And then about 30 minutes after I get done the brief, I post the replay. Why 30 minutes? It takes about 30 minutes for the recording to render on my computer. So most people, kids go to bed or after work or during a lunch break, they watch the replay. Okay, so we got you covered, man. You don't have to attend the briefs live to get all the stuff. Today, I'm also going to give you access to our proprietary materials. You got to start reading these, man. Primary, intermediate, and advanced. I go back, to be honest with you, and brush up on my stuff by reading these. These manuals are fantastic. If you don't know what an option is, page 1 of the primary manual, here you go. So start, and real quick, wait, Wiz, $97 a month, But if I went to your website right now and bought these manuals, they're $197. let me help you out with the math since I'm a political science major and a Navy guy. Yeah, you just made $100. You're getting $197 dollars worth of manuals and a full month of access for $97. That's what my marketing team, it's an irresistible offer. I'm like, it's stupid if you ask me, but I'll listen to you guys. You're the marketing team. So here's what you get. Access to the brief every Monday at noon, the text and email alerts, the 3 skill-based manuals, and access to our online forum. You can ask me questions. You can ask your fellow members questions. There you go. Access to our members only. Reddier and Parmar made 200 grand on his Amazon contracts. Kevin, Amazon synthetic stock, late to enter, up 200%. I paid 8 grand. It's now at 24. Diane, up 70 grand with 1 contract. Scott, hey Wiz, up 20 grand and 2 September and 2 October calls this week. I've never been there. Patience, persistence. Thanks, TGO. And just good, great stuff, man. So if you want to test fly it for a month, $97. Let me give you the 2 links here, and I'll show you the page. You're welcome, man. Good. I'm glad you got something out of it. So here you go. Here's the annual, and then, well, let me give you the monthly. This is the monthly. Yeah. Solo Amazon. Wait. Let's see if that works. Yeah. Here's the monthly. But it'll pop up in the chat box right here. So there's the monthly, and then this is the annual. Like I said, it's a 25% discount. So if you want to do and yeah, before anybody even asks, you can do a month to month for a couple months, check it out, try it out, and then give us a call and say, hey, I want to upgrade to an annual membership. It's pretty easy to do. Just shoot an email to support. Okay. Yep, $97 for a month. That is awesome. All right, but I feel like the Flex Seal guy. But wait, there's more. There is more. I strongly recommend if you're new to options, or even if you know what you're doing, you get a good brush up. We do what's called full throttle training. I do 8 live sessions at night when the market's closed with a glass of wine, where I just talk options, man, from this is a put, this is a call, all the way up to advanced tactics. There are other places that charge. The one guy that I used to work with charges about $5,000. I think he still sends you DVDs. I don't even have a DVD player in my house, but anyway, it's $195. That's it. Support email is support@topgunoptions.com. So folks, absolutely, please take the $195 training, and this is the schedule. I take a building block approach, folks, just like I did in Navy flight training. This is an airplane. That's the sky. This is the ground. And then 6 months later, I'm flying off the front of an aircraft carrier. We took a building block approach, and that's exactly what I'm going to do with teaching you options. Basics, more intermediate and advanced. Building block approach. We usually do them. I do these once a quarter. I do 8 of these once a quarter, and I usually do them, Tuesday, Thursday night from 7 to 8, 8:30, however long it takes. Nobody leaves one of these training sessions with a question mark over their head or a clue bird flapping on their shoulder. Sorry about that. That's perfect timing, though, because my headset literally just died. So I'm going to get going, folks. Hopefully you join our solo Amazon service, and I will see you Monday at noon.
grab some popcorn for this afternoon to watch earnings. It's going to be interesting. It's either going to be a blowout or a miss, and the stock's either going to go massively up or massively down. If it goes massively down, folks, that's a perfect opportunity to get in and buy. Good. Welcome aboard, Mike. Yep. All the links are in the chat box, folks. Either do the annual or do the monthly. Like I said, the annual saves you a lot of money. Okay. All right, guys, have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge, and God bless. Awesome, Pamela. Welcome aboard. I'll talk to you guys later. We'll see you.